Within the next few minutes, you have the power to meet over 100 people without having to leave the comfort of your bedroom. This is the power of virtual reality, where you can go into any 3D modeled world and meet people that are just in avatars and have real, deep, genuine conversations with literally anybody around you. The best part about this is that it's not our actual bodies or our actual face that's coming into contact with people, it's our 3D avatars. Somebody in VR told me that when you put the mask on, your real face shows, and that's exactly what's happening here. When you aren't worried about what you look like in real life, then you can be who you really are. The good thing about this is that everyone in the avatars can control what their avatars are doing, and if you want to spend an extra $300, then you can control the legs and the hips as well. This is the perfect disconnect from the virtual realm and the real world, because you can still control your virtual avatar with your real life body without having to expose your real life body. And I feel like this is why people in VR are so much better than people in real life, because you aren't interacting with their 3D real life body, you're interacting with their mind. This is why VR is the perfect remedy for your loneliness or your social anxiety or even just being awkward. When you disconnect yourself just enough so that you can learn who you really are and get more comfortable speaking to people without having to actually expose yourself to people, you become really confident and really charismatic. The coolest part is that you weren't taught to be charismatic. You naturally are, just deep inside of yourself. So when you start to express that in the virtual realm, you kind of get more comfortable with doing it in the real world as well. So to do all of these amazing things, you don't necessarily need VR, but it's going to help a lot more than using it on PC. There's a game called VR Chat. So step 1 is to log into VR Chat. Step 2, find an avatar that is fitting for you. Step 3, join a public world. Step 4, find a group of people that look like they're having an interesting conversation. And step 5, join the conversation. You'd be surprised on how open and inviting people are in this virtual realm. It's because they're playing a social game, so they're all on there for the same reason, to meet friends and talk to new people. But it's also because they're disconnected from the real life body, so they can't be threatened no matter how dangerous you potentially are. The only difference between this and real life is that you and everybody around you is in an avatar. You can try new ways to approach people by entering different worlds and speaking to hundreds of people within minutes, going to bars, going to clubs, going to social events, playing social games. There are endless ways for you to experience new scenarios by doing them in virtual reality before you do it in real life. Like if you're scared to go to the party with your friends, and maybe you can go to a virtual party and see what it's like before you go to one in real life. Or maybe if you're only comfortable dancing by yourself, then you can go to a virtual club and start dancing with other people and see what it's like to not only dance by yourself in your bedroom, but to get more comfortable dancing with other people as well. Back when I made my first VR video of picking up girls in VR, that was literally me practicing how to pick up girls in the real world just in the virtual realm, where I'd go throw out some cheesy, funny pickup lines and see what works and see what doesn't work, just to try myself out and to boost my confidence in the virtual realm, because it technically is a practice world. During that time, after editing and recording videos all day long, I had no one to hang out with at night, so for a few months I got the majority of my social interactions from virtual reality. In VR Chat, I have met the coolest people I've ever came across in my life. You might think it's weird looking at it from the outside in, but when you're in a room with people that are just all genuine and so pure and so authentic, it can sometimes feel more real than the real world. People don't have egos, personalities aren't fabricated, and everyone around you is as genuine as they possibly can be. And this all does sound great, but in VR public world, it's not going to be as good as it sounds all the time. Since anybody can join that has an internet connection, there's going to be a lot of trolls that are unavoidable for any video game, especially one that's made upon being social. So one of the ways that I'm still socially interactive in VR without having to go into a public world and deal with any trolls is to make my own private world, invite some of my coolest friends, and then have them invite their coolest friends. Before you know it, your friends are going to invite their friends, etc., until you have a world that is maximum filled to its full capacity with just genuine, cool, authentic people. Some nights when I have nobody to hang out with, or I'm just by myself for whatever reason, I would do this, and that's how I would get my social interaction for the day. I mean, let's face it, all of your friends in the real world have things to do. You guys can't hang out every single day, but whenever you are alone on your time, then you can just toss on that headset, invite some of your friends, and make them do the same. Before you know it, you're going to have an entirely filled world, and it's going to be almost as fun as hanging out with your friends in real life, and sometimes it's even better. Looking at it from the outside in, this probably sounds so weird for a human being to put on a VR headset and speak to other people around the globe, and that's how they get their social interactions done throughout the day. But in my opinion, it's a way better alternative than using apps like Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to fabricate your egos and post pictures that don't define who you really are, and to socialize by texting somebody on a keyboard. I feel like actually speaking to someone, actually moving your hands, using real body language, actually dancing, sitting down on the couch, and talking to somebody about how you really feel is way better than than posting a Snapchat story. Using virtual reality and speaking to people for hours has made me so much more confident and comfortable, not only inside of VR, but in the real world as well. It shows you that both worlds aren't very different. If you're super charismatic in the virtual realm, then you can be that way in the real world as well. It's already inside of you. All you needed was an outlet to express it. Thank you for enjoying this video. Stay dreaming, stay lucid. I'm out. Peace. Yeah, bro, pound that shit real quick.
I got you, bro.
I'm making a video showing YouTube that people in VR are cooler than people in real life. So I need you guys to like represent, you know what I'm saying?
That's 100% true.